How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to take a look at Hasbro's G.I. Joe classified Alvin Breaker Kibbey with ram cycle. This 6-inch scale ram cycle is proving to be an incredibly popular item amongst resellers on eBay and G.I. Joe fans alike. The cycle and the figure both look really cool, and I think that we should start with a nice close-up in-hand look at Breaker. The figure has your basic militaristic look to him, and unlike some of the earlier figures in the G.I. Joe classified line, just looks more like he could have been part of the older G.I. Joe series from the 80s. With the older figures, everything tended to be a lot more smooth and a lot less textured, but as we can see here, Breaker, just like the rest of the figures from the classified series, benefits from modern sculpting techniques. Digital sculpting techniques allow you to do a whole lot more as far as details are concerned, like the texture of the fabric on his vest here, and then a completely different one for his pants. His boots actually look like leather, which is really nice. There's texture to the boots as well. And the back of the flak vest also has another kind of texturing. He's just a very cool looking figure. I do kind of wish that the flak vest actually came off. Like for one of these sides here, I wish that you could unbutton it, because underneath we can clearly see that he's also wearing some kind of a sweater. I mean, I suppose I could pop him apart at the waist, but I don't want to know what it looks like underneath that bad. And then we have Breaker's face sculpt, and these are to be expected. They're not super special, but they're definitely very good. These are a mass-produced child's toy / adult collector, and they look just like that. If we want quality that is even better than this, then we're going to have to cough up the money for it. And just so that Breaker doesn't become another statistic for motorcycle crash death, he comes with this really fantastic helmet. It's crafted and sculpted well. I'm not sure what all the stuff is on the side. Maybe that's some kind of a camera. He has his mic with his earpiece here and an antenna on this side. I like the fact that you have the colors here in the visor that simulates the look of the angle of the light hitting the visor there. This is a really fantastic accessory. He doesn't come with any handguns. The helmet is the only small accessory he comes with. And he's articulated just like the rest of the classified series, with drop hinges, thigh cut, rounded ball joint in the groin. We know the drill. Double jointed knees. He has rotation here at the top of the boot. He's also got the ankle, which is a pivot. At the waist here, you've got full rotation. Mine's nice and tight, which is good. I don't want to go ahead and loosen that because I don't plan on doing too crazy of a thing with this guy. You've got your rounded hinge in the armpits, your bicep swivel, your double jointed elbows. Your wrist has the articulation with a spin and a hinge, and the head is obviously on a ball joint that is on a hinge that goes up and down, and it does appear like under here there is some kind of neck articulation as well. They're all just basic articulation points for a G.I. Joe classified series figure. And what about the ram cycle, which is probably one of the reasons why a lot of you bought this pack. Maybe you didn't want Breaker, but you really wanted this cycle here. Well, let's take off the gun from the side here. We'll look at that in just a second, but let's just look at this bike. This is really fantastic. It's completely understandable why so many people would be trying to get their hands on this thing. It's because it's a really fantastic looking G.I. Joe / militaristic looking motorbike. It's got either a soft plastic or hard rubber set of tires, and the wheels actually spin really well. You can see the brake discs here and the whole braking system, the shocks, G.I. Joe logo right here, gas tank, the seat that Breaker is supposed to sit on, gas and speed gauge up here. You've got the handlebars, which actually have a little bit of movement inside of the, I'm not sure you'd call this, the instrument panel. It looks like a surprised looking dude. Woo! The front windshield of the motorbike is kind of an opaque, dark blackish plastic, but there is some light that escapes through it. There's the headlight for the front. We have the black engine right here and the silver painted sparkly components with a big beastly exhaust pipe coming out of the side here. While on this side we have the braking system back here. You can see the brake disc and the engine and another beastly pipe that comes out of the side. A hastily shoddily painted American flag, MG 1027. Not even gonna lie, I have no idea what this means. I'm sure there are G.I. Joe buffs out there who would, but Overall, this is a fantastic piece, and the handlebars actually turn the front wheel. Here's a peek at the Gatlin gun with the casing that it comes in. It actually technically did not come in the casing. The gun technically came just like that, so it is actually a handheld weapon. So when Breaker hops off of his motorcycle and he needs, you know, handy use of a gun, he's got this here Gatling gun, and it does spin just like that. Mine's kind of bent. Ooh, that would send the bullets kind of like all over the place. That would be a mess. Here is the casing with the little wheel on the bottom that when you want him to be riding around on his bicycle, you can just stick the gun like that on the inside of the casing, and then you take the other side of the casing and just close it up just like that. Ta-da! And now it fits. And then we have two pegs on the side of the casing here, and we have the two peg holes in the bike, and it's just a matter of pushing them in there, and then ta-da! It actually helps the bike stand up too, because without this, the bike just is going to flop over. And you'd need this wheel here to be able to use this gigantic Gatlin gun on the side of the motorbike. Getting Breaker on the bike should be a piece of cake. There's a peg right here, and we should just be able to stick his foot right there on the peg. And here we can see that Breaker actually fits really nicely onto this bike. I mean, why wouldn't he? The bike is designed for this figure, so of course he's going to fit. And I was initially incorrect. This bike doesn't just need the Gatlin thing to stand. It's got a kickstand right here on the bottom. I missed that when I was first looking at the bike and didn't discover it until I was putting Breaker on the motorcycle. So just like that, he can stand with the kickstand, or you can flop up the kickstand, plop the Gatlin gun back on, and of course the bike will sit upright with the Gatlin gun. As an adult collectible, this bike displays really, really well. Looks fantastic up on a shelf, and as a kid's toy, this is equally as good because these figures are built pretty strong. They're built out of kid-grade plastic, and this motorbike is exactly the kind of thing that I would have loved as a kid. So, you know what? I would say not only for collectors, but if you have kids and you're looking to get something really cool for them this Christmas, and you see this in the Toys R Us, I say nab this bad boy up and get it for your good boy or girl, or whoever you know wants one. Here it is end to end with the previous motorcycle that Hasbro released as part of the G.I.Joe classified line. That Baroness cycle is actually really, really big. And in comparison to a bunch more of my G.I. Joe classified series figures, I feel like Breaker is following the same direction as the newer released Roadblock and some of the previous figures and some of the new ones that are going to be released. It's going in that direction of answering the fans' demand for a much more classic styled looking 6-inch G.I. Joe action figure line. Personally, I'm really excited for Barbecue. He'll be the next G.I. Joe classified figure that I review on the channel. He looks really amazing. But I suppose at that, I guess I'm done. So my final opinion, my final review of the G.I. Joe classified series Breaker with Ram Cycle would be that it's an absolute must-have if you're someone who is a G.I. Joe fan or someone who has been collecting just the G.I. Joe classified series. Is it worth the price of admission? I would say if you can help it, try not to pay $100 from an eBay scalper for this, but if you can find it for the actual original price of admission, then it's definitely worth it. Anyway, those are my thoughts, opinions, and viewpoints. I'm sure you'll have your own. Feel free to leave them down in the comments section below, and I will see you with the next one. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.